What an absolutely stunning box. Yolopark have really hit it out of the park with the packaging. Here we have Yolopark's AMK Pro Series 20cm model kit, Optimus Prime from Transformers The Last Night, and Age of Extinction kind of. As I was speaking then, you saw the bonus metal pin and art card that came with the pre-order for this. I will note that though the instructions are fairly well laid out, because the parts are one solid colour and you sort of have to identify them by the shape, they can be a little bit difficult to figure out which bit goes where. But once you figure it out on one side, the other side will go really easy. For the most part, I've put this together following the instruction order, though there are some bits that are a little tricky. Starting first with the underframe or skeleton if you will, mostly easy enough. The thighs into the hips are a little tight, they might just take a little bit of wiggling. You sort of need to get the peg very square with the hole. If it's on any sort of angle, you'll struggle to push it in. The rest of this inner frame goes together pretty easily, with the exception, at least on my copy, of the chest attaching to the upper torso. For me, it was an extremely tight fit. I actually had to fiddle around and edit the video a little bit because I had to pull that bottom torso off and then sort of use two hands to press them together. Hopefully it's not on every copy, but mine was very tight. I must say while we're watching this, that overall this is probably the best kit that I've personally handled that Yolopark have produced. It seems like it's just another step up over everything else they've produced. I know Toy Guy's handled a few more kits than I have, and he had the same opinion. I recently reviewed the Evangelion kits, Unit 01, 00 and 02, which were brilliant kits, but this is just on another level. The detail, the articulation, the feel, it's brilliant. Along with a few parts in die cast, mainly the shoulder pads, parts of the feet, a couple of the leg panels, his front and back bicep armor, might be a couple more, I can't remember. But it gives it a really nice feel and weight. A note about the hip skirt. It looks like two pieces, but it's not. It's one and it's assembled from factory. It seems like an odd design choice. It would have been better off to have two to aid with the articulation and make it a natural look. And there we go. There's the inner frame completed and rotating in front of you, though it looks a little bare. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now taking a look at the articulation, it's pretty good. Head's on a ball joint and the neck is also on an internal stem, giving you plenty of wiggle and waggle. Now moving on to the arms, they're pegged in with a quite solid peg to the shoulder, though it does come out when rotating them sometimes. They have a hinged arm that the shoulder pad attaches to. We'll see that later. The arm can extend all the way out to the side, rotate around 360. It has a bicep swivel, but it has this little detailed thing on the inner arm that clashes with the joint. I guess it's there for the design, but it does clash and hinder some of the inward movement of the arm. There's a double jointed elbow. The hands peg onto a ball joint, giving them a little bit of wiggle and rotation. And the hands installed currently are articulated, though they're a bit odd. They're hinged at the top knuckle where it meets the hand. Each of the two fingers are linked, so there's two sort of Ninja Turtle fingers. The second knuckle is fixed and the thumb is on a ball joint but in a fixed position. You have minor rotation and crunch at the upper torso and full rotation at the lower torso or the hips. The legs are plugged into a universal hip and on a now common drop down hinge to allow for extra articulation. They go forward fairly far and back fairly far. Obviously with that drop down hinge, it will extend that articulation. A double jointed knee that doesn't quite go to a full fold, but it's pretty decent. Thigh swivel in the thigh joint, ankle articulation in all directions, and a toe joint. We'll cover the articulation again once all the armour is on, just to show the difference. Now sit back and enjoy the rest of the build. I'll speed it up a little bit for you so I can make it quick. there's Optimus, all armoured up, looking beautiful. A stunning design, in my opinion. Some people don't like it, some people do. I am a fan of the knight design, and it looks fantastic. Highly articulated, super detailed. Like there's detail under armour that doesn't need to be there. I think it's a bit like the Lego thing, it's part of the build. You get to enjoy it while you're building. As you can see, he holds plenty of poses. We'll see these accessories in more detail in a minute. But overall, Yolopark, you've really hit this one out of the park. Now, Yolopark didn't send this to me. I paid for this myself, and I'm glad I did. I don't really buy non-transforming figures, but if they release more of this level, God, I'm in. Now, Optimus comes with a bunch of accessories. They're all optional pieces that you can plug and play as you please, and we'll go over them now. Now, starting from the top, we've got an ultimate wrist piece, magnetic faction symbol, alternate face parts. We'll see more in a minute. His shield, a flexible stand rod, his bumblebee killing knife, some mounts for various accessories, the crutch cradle for the stand, and his alternate hands, each of which are a rubberized material opposed to the articulated hands seen before. Now we have the alternate wrist armor here that you can use to peg in the adapter, which then you can attach the shield, or the blade that he uses to fight Bumblebee in the end of the film. The standard armor piece just flicks off, and then you press on the new piece, probably more smoothly than I'm showing here. Once it's installed, you can grab the blade and just peg it into the little slot. It's a nice solid connection. Once you remove the blade, you can install this adapter, which will allow you to peg in the shield, unless you've left a peg in the back of it for his back, but pull that out first and then it will peg into the arm. Again, a nice solid connection. It's not going to fall off in a hurry. Next, you've got that little peg adapter that I've flung across my workstation. Don't leave it in the shield when you don't need it. Simply unplug this little panel on his back. It can be a little bit tight, so just give it a little wiggle. Then you can put the double-sided peg into the back and then into the shield, and the shield can be stored at whatever angle that you wish. That was my dog shaking under my editing desk. Now, once your shield's installed, you can install an additional peg, which is a little sheath for the sword. It is a little bit stubby, so it may knock out if you're a bit rough with it, but it does peg in secure enough. The sword just slides in, looks great. Additionally, if you remove the shield, you've got this longer sheath piece, which you can have the shield mounted on the back just by itself. A closer look at the articulated hands. Here you can see the split knuckles I was talking about earlier. These are a solid plastic. Now, ignore me dropping it. I did have issues with that little palm piece popping off. It may need to be re-glued. Again, that toy guy had the same issue. Now, the blue and red flamed armor that fits on the back of the hand is interchangeable between every hand, though there is a left and a right side, so just be aware of that. Now, they are a little bit harder to get off the solid plastic hands, but the more flexible rubberized hands is fairly easy to pop off. In fact, sometimes it will pop off while you're trying to get accessories in and out of the hand. You can see here the hands are a bit more flexible. Now, I haven't had any issues with the paint on these, but be aware they are a rubbery material, so flexing them over time may cause the paint to chip off. Attaching the hands is straightforward, they just push on and off this ball joint. Now again, the soft flexible hands are a lot easier to get on and off. The articulated plastic hands will take a little bit of effort, so just be careful. Now, taking a look at the stand, this is a metal flexible rod, similar to you'd get on 1/6 figures. The crutch cradle just screws on like you can see here, then you can just screw it into the supplied stand, which is quite nice. Now, while the stand does look nice, I do have an issue with this little crutch cradle. It's not secure. It would be good if Prime had some sort of mounting point like some Gundams have where you can slide a piece onto the crutch, which holds him solid, and then the stand pegs into that. But this just sits there. It's not ideal. Not that you're going to do many flying poses with Prime, and he stands up just fine by himself. You can store the magnetic faction symbol on the stand. This symbol is used to turn the lights on and off in the head. Just taking a quick look at the closer details. The paintwork, the sculpting is all brilliant. Yolopark have done a great job. I'd imagine they had access to some CAD files or something, but overall I think just a fantastic looking piece. And for the price, geez, what a bargain. Like, you're looking at double this for anything of the equivalent type of figure, so I definitely recommend it. Now let's rip Prime's head off so we can see how it's assembled, how you install batteries, which, by the way, I could not find at any stores around here. I looked up different codes, I looked up different brand, I couldn't find anything. So unfortunately, I apologise, I can't show the lights off in this review. Now, they have 3 modes: on, flickering and breathing, I believe. Again, I'm sorry, I can't show them off. Now the head comes apart quite easily. You pull the two side pieces off, then the skull cap, then the faceplate, the eyes, and then you can remove the battery compartment. Again, there's no switch for the lights, just using the faction symbol as a magnet to activate the lights in the different modes. Now the second head is Nemesis Prime from the film. You can insert a different set of eyes, which have a slight mark on one side, a different headpiece, and one different side. The Nemesis Prime head looks great, but you also have an option to change the faceplate out to a mouthed face. So if you want that look, you can. It's up to you. Now having another look at the articulation with all the armour applied, nothing changes too much. There is a little bit of clashing with some of the armour, particularly the shoulder pads, though you can hinge them out of the way and rotate the top section as you need. Again, the arm still clashes with that little piece under the arm. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. One added point is he now has an elbow pad, which can be positioned when the arm is bent. The overall articulation is great, allowing you to pull off some really dynamic and cool poses, many of which will need no assistance from stands due to the die cast and big feet. Again, nothing changes too much from the inner frame to the armoured up. Now while this Prime doesn't transform, let's have a look at a few size comparisons. Here he is with Yolopark's Unit 01, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Magic Square Light of Peace, Titan's Return Overlord, and a Master Grade Gundam. An amazing piece of engineering and a stunning piece that I recommend in any Transformers collection, particularly if you like the movie designs. But otherwise, just a standout action figure. Thanks for watching everyone. This was a review of the Yolopark AMK Pro Series 20cm model kit, The Last Night Optimus Prime. If you enjoyed it, leave me a like, drop me a comment, and consider joining the Patreon. I know it's the usual spiel, but it all helps everything. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.